Farmers Breakfast Show right here on a Farmers Media in County 031. Oh, 034. In County 034. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. Today, we want to talk about money. Money, but very quickly, where do you get this money? How viable is it? Which product, which service can you be able to offer? Can you be able to sell to get this done? Your host, Noah Naseli Kadima, right here. And as we start talking about this, let me know where you're watching us from. Let us know how this drought has affected you. If you're a livestock farmer, let us know where you're getting your feeds from. But we'll repeat that again as we continue. So, how was the weekend? I hope it was fantastic. Mine was, uh, can I say, fantabulously resty. I rested. First time for in a very long time that I actually just locked and rested. Very important because you have to heal, you have to bring back your body into feeling. Wanasema mwanaume ni jasho lakini hapana, hii leo nilikataa. I refused. I said no. This is not just about sweat, it's about so much more. And great, and it's a wonderful day. I know last week we were MIA, but because we were actually looking for some goodies that we're going to talk about in the whole of this week, we'll be sharing, we'll be talking to some of our experts, some of our resident agronomists who are far and wide. And hence the reason why we're saying today we're talking about money. A lot is lined up this week. We know that there is the Agri Expo that is going on in Nairobi on 8th and 9th. It will be a fantastic time to see all of you. We'll see how we'll be able to be there to bring you the highlights as well as have some interviews there. So if you have not yet registered, we'll be sharing in the comment section how you can register for the Agri Expo 2023. It's a fantastic time, especially for you who is doing business, who is trading in the agri tech field. Get to know who is there, what products are there, who can you partner from abroad, who can be able to bring quality products. Remember, if you're partnering, make sure that the products that you're partnering and you want to bring to us to our local market is good quality that we can be able to use and sustain our farming. Now, before we jump into the topic of today, I want to tell you guys a story, and this story is a very interesting story. I met a young guy yesterday, and not yesterday, over the weekend, on Saturday actually, and sorry, on Friday. Yes, on Friday. And this guy is called. I'll tell you guys his name a few minutes after this. So when we visited his farm together with a few friends on Friday evening, and it was a very interesting day because we had talked about all these things about pasture commercialization, the whole way getting trained on how to be able to communicate this and let you know how this is, which we'll be telling you in a few days in terms of how you can be able to join. So this young guy, we actually visited his farm, a very interesting farm in close to Isinya, and he's doing an amazing job. When I say amazing, I mean that this guy is actually doing a lot of work. A lot of work. We'll be sharing some of the photos of him. And this guy, the kind of work that he's doing is one that actually means money. Very interesting. So why what do I say? Why I mean, what do I mean by money? So the guy has partnered with his dad, yeah, and his dad has actually made sure that this young guy has learned a lot in terms of how to make quick money, and apart from just making quick money, is also how do you sustain a business. Sustaining a business, starting a business is one thing. I'll tell you for sure. Starting a business is just one thing. Sustaining it, making sure it is growing, making sure it is yielding, making sure that it is actually making sense is a totally different thing. And as I keep on saying, when you are doing a business, when you are doing farming, don't just do farming for the sake of doing it. Make sure that it is sustainable. Make sure that you can be able to make some good money out of this. And as we do this, I'll just share. I hope our producer can be able to have some of those images up. just to show what this guy is doing. You know, it's a journey. So this guy told me, I asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you sitting down with your dad doing this when young guys out there are able to do so much more? You know, you can do a lot for yourself. And the guy asked me, what am I doing right now? You know, what am I doing right now that can be able to, to showcase so much of these things? Yes, I think that not that photo, but another one. But that one is actually depicting what is happening. Especially, that's a very interesting tour that we had. What you're seeing on your screen is actually a tour that we had a few months back with my fellow colleagues and friends from the Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative Union. It was a very interesting time, very, very, very interesting. Because when I say interesting, it's because we learned a lot. Yes. So again, we're talking about money. We're talking about money. Today we'll be talking about livestock feeds. Is it growing? Can you grow it commercially? Can you be able to make sure that you are actually making money out of this? Remember, this is a farmers media breakfast show, and our aim is actually to make sure that you are making money, but not just money. You're making connections. You may get growing relationships in the industry. You are learning a lot. You are understanding the business aspects, because if you're investing money, you better just be making money. So if you invest money somewhere, you have to better make money. We'll go into in a short break, but when we come back, we want to now. I'll show you guys some of the images from the farm that I visited, the guy and what he had to say about this particular aspect. But even after that, we'll be able to see so much more. We'll be bringing you a documentary about this particular young guy together with his dad. What they're doing, an amazing job. You cannot imagine what they're doing inside Kajiado with this drought. And then later on, we'll also now dive in and talk more about what this livestock is. Basically, things like, is it profitable? Where do you start? Where is the market for pasture? If you're saying you're going to grow pasture, how do you grow? Which do you grow? Do you need soil testing? Do you need all this information? Right back when we come back.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club, and by extension, African farmers. The whole idea behind farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision. They can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental. Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of a farmers media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
To welcome back to a farmer's breakfast show, and as I was telling you guys about what we're discussing here, it's very important for you, especially as a farmer, to understand whatever you're doing, whatever investment that you're putting in, is it paying off? It doesn't have to be the big amounts of money that we're told. You know, we're told that you put 40,000 shillings. I've never told you guys the story. I was told if I put 40,000 shillings in even these things just make me laugh. I was told if I put 40,000 shillings to grow watermelon, I'll get 400,000 shillings in less than 4 months. Yes. So I'm not talking about that kind of, no. No, no, no. That doesn't work. It doesn't work now. It will never work ever. If it didn't work for our time, it will never work. However, when you look at the pricing model, when you look at the costs of you in engaging in any activity, then you have to make sure that it is making sense. It is making economic sense for you, because the profits, you have to look at, is it profitable? Profitable does not mean too much money. It means if you put 100 shillings, if you get your 100 shillings back plus 50 shillings or 100 shillings more with less activity. That's what I mean. You know, what if you would understand, with less activity, you know, less energy, less investments, less time. So, and I'm not talking about wash. I'm not talking about wash. I'm not talking about things that you do for the sake of doing. No, I'm talking about specifically in agriculture. How much do you spend on seed? How much do you spend on land preparation? When you're harvesting, how much are you getting back over a certain period? So, if it is a crop, is it a crop that you're able to harvest for a longer period? What do you do to make sure that you're harvesting for a longer period? Is it the crop management, basically things like nutrition, things like pest and disease control? Because that way, then you can be able to say, oh, it's profitable. Again, this is a farmers media. We are talking a lot today about what we have said. But however, apart from that, we also want to mention that it is it is a very interesting time that we're living in. And when I say interesting, it's basically um, we're living and fighting drought. We're fighting uh, water issues. We're fighting pests and diseases. We're fighting so much out there. So it will only make sense if we can be able to collaborate well, if you can be able to understand each other well, to know that this is something that is viable for us, something that we can be able to benefit from. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we're talking about pasture, livestock feeds. You know, whether you're doing poultry, whether you're doing fish farming, whether you're doing livestock in terms of cows, goats, sheep. Would growing pasture, would growing livestock feed be profitable? What do you need to do and it's profitable? But before that, as I told you on when you're starting off, there's this guy that I met, and I want us to visit him through the video that will be shared in a few seconds. And this video is this young guy is a very interesting guy, because this guy is he's deep in Kajiado, and he has a lot to say. We can just probably play what he's just about to say right now, just for you to understand as a young person why this is important. What he's carrying there is called sugar grains. So probably you can play what he's saying.
For the cows and the livestock, we just use this as a substitute meal. This, I think, is one of the best initiatives that you
Might
can
not be very
essentially
clear,
boost
but
the income for the youth.
what
You know,
he's saying is
helps keep
basically
livestock healthy.
um, why this is important. It's
It's
important for the
beneficial
community.
both
You know, he
men
captured my
and
attention when he
children.
said it's good for yourself, it's good for the community as well. That was something very, very important. There's also another video there for when he's cutting. I don't think it's this one. Yes, yeah. So anyway, yes. So when I was talking to him, he was telling me very interesting things and telling me that, as you can see, that is what is being taken care of. Yes, and as you do that, as you see that,
So now we are about to
yes,
start
we can see
feeding.
him
We
now,
are going to
and
feed
yes, he's actually
side
telling us and
starting with
showcasing
chocolate
this to us.
first.
what he's doing. Let us see if we can be able to get him.
Once that process is done, then you can begin the fermentation process.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you can restart the video just
So now
to
we
get
are
what
about
he's
to start
saying.
milling. We are going to create the silage. It has to be chopped up first into smaller pieces. Once that process is done, then you can begin the fermentation process.
Yeah, is growing. They're growing their own pasture themselves. They are processing it now, as you can see, and you will be able to see what is the really some amazing work that they are actually doing. We'll be sharing something else there, like I think it's his video. I hope we'll be able to get that as well. To get just to see his now they're growing, they're keeping, they're preparing it now for silage by now processing it in where I come from, in of Siaga, Siaga hiyo chakula. And it's a very interesting thing because it's being done right here in Kajiado. You know, they've commercialized it not only for their cows. They have 8 cows. Of those 8 cows, they're getting 200 liters of milk every day, um, which is something very interesting. Yeah, so it's something very interesting that we are able to see. Um, yeah, and he told me, when, as we can see the video, he told me that it is possible to have this being done right here in Kajiado. It is possible. It is fantastic. It is beneficial, both for yourself, but also for the community around you. You can do it for business. You can see what he's doing. It's in a very small piece of land. This is just like 4 acres, I think 6 acres maximum. This is a daily activity that they do, and it's realistic. It's realistic. There's a mixture there. They have some Lucerne, they have some NutriFeed, they have some maize stocks that they're actually doing, as you can see for yourselves there. It's something they've been doing. They've been mastering it as they go. Yes. I just like to yeah. As you can see that it is something that is possible. So the question is, how do we go about this? The question is it where do you start? Where do you start? Where do you start? Where is the market? And that is what we want to discuss today. We'll be getting, once we get a hold of Sayanka Ntore, who is the founder and chair of Reto Empowerment, which is a social enterprise dealing with empowering the locals around in Kajiado on how to be able to improve the quality of their breeds, improve the quality of the feeds. Something that Sanka is very passionate. I remember I met him a while back, and yes, I'm being told that there's also another video that we can be able to see of the silage after has been made. So probably we can play that as well as we wait to connect. Yeah, so let's get to understand how this is all about, and that. I don't know if you have any questions. If you have any questions or comments, please share it with us so that we can be able to respond. We can be able to have some of these questions being asked. We will also be joining two other two guests. One is Titus, who will be joining us all the way from Machakos together with Mika Mitoko. So Titus is an agronomist who is very passionate on how this can change the lifestyle and life of us in Kajiado County, of those of us who are keeping livestock. We have seen the stress that we've got as a result of the drought and loss of livestock. Close to more than 5 billion shillings worth of livestock has been lost because of this drought. So how do we go around this? Very interesting. So as we do this, let us also try and see what the weatherman has to say as we do this. Um, Very interesting that today when I was coming, I checked on a friend. I checked on a friend, and my friend told me, oh, okay, it's very interesting. What are you doing? What are you checking? What are you doing now? What kind of weather this is. So we'll be sharing the weather update right now, and courtesy of meteorological department, we have 15 degrees Celsius highs in Nairobi, and sorry, lows of 15, highs of 29 degrees. Cutting across Mombasa, highs of 33 degrees. Really, really cool weather. And this cool weather is actually good for. I say it is good for farming if you have water. If you have water, it is fantastic. It is very good for farming. Something else that if you look at Kisumu, highs of 30, lows of 18. Marsabit is cooling down now, highs of 33. Last week was, sorry, highs of 28, lows of 17 degrees. Lodwa is interesting. Garissa, so from Garissa, Lamu, Lodwa, Makindu, Malindi, Mandera, wow, Moyale, Wajir, we are experiencing highs of as high as 36 degrees, your body temperature. Wow, wow, that is hot, very hot. Machakos, we are experiencing 29 degrees, highs of 29, lows of 15. Looks like lows of same with Kitui. Meru is cooling down a bit. Kericho, cool as always. Lows of 9 degrees. Is that Kenya? And then highs of 26. Very interesting. Your weather has been brought by Plantix, who say they are the plant doctor. And the activity they're saying is that today's weather is fantastic, and it would be right, interesting that you can be able to spray today your pesticides. Fantastic. Good. So we're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll now have some of the interviews that we have lined up for you today. We will be able to talk to some of these experts that we have lined up for you today, both from the seed and processing bit, as well as the experts themselves. We'll be able to see and get to hear from Sayanka himself in terms of where do we start, where is the market, what are the products, what specific seed varieties do we plant. This is a Farmer's Breakfast Show. We're taking a short break.
Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over.
Welcome back. Sorry, I was taking a bit long because I was enjoying something. I'll tell you guys in the next few minutes what I was enjoying. And I don't know what you have had for breakfast today. I'll tell you guys what I've had. So we have somebody who has done an amazing job. Somebody who has, I am rarely convinced to take up a certain project, but this one, when I looked at it, I heard about it, I saw the passion in it. I said, this one I will try. Hence the reason I want to bring in a friend of mine who is also a friend to us, to our other farmers. And this friend of mine is also an expert in livestock feed, formulation, production, marketing, and training. This guy has been so passionate with making sure that we understand that growing pasture is not growing grass. Growing pasture is not about feeding cows, but making them healthy and ready for the market. He's passionate about livestock commercialization, growing animal feeds, keeping livestock for the market and not keeping livestock because of pride. I would like to introduce our guest for today. I don't know if we are ready with him to give us some more information about livestock feed. I have Sayanka on the line. Sayanka, can you hear me? Hello? Do we have Sayanka on the line? Yes. So as it's being sorted out, I will tell you briefly about Sayanka. So I met Sayanka in 2022 at one of the, as you can see, some of the images that we have in terms of where we met and what we kept on doing. So we met at one of the projects that he has been working on as well. If we can just have some of the pictures. And one of the things that we saw together was actually during a visit to Kitui, where we visited some farmers. We were actually going there to see, as you can see there, something else that both of us are very passionate about. As we went there to Kitui to learn about beekeeping, but it was very interesting that that beekeeping was also a very interesting component of pasture because you require that, and you can see the group that we have there, the Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative Union, very passionate about nature, about environment, about ecological, agroecological aspects. You can see what we have there. This was a group that we learned so much. You can see the next photo, where, yes, as you can see that we actually visited a farmer. I want to tell you guys a little bit about this farm that we visited in Kitui. And you can see what this guy has done. There's a guy in purple there. I think he's fifth from the left. Uh, he told us so much more about what this is all about. That is not just grass, that is pasture. He knows how to reseed, he knows how to do the paddocking, he knows when his cows come there, what he allows to graze there because of the manure that is there. He talked so much about the soil, the quality of the soil, and this was very interesting. And as we were discussing this with Sayanka, then we talked about pasture commercialization in detail. As you can see, we're very keen on listening to why. Deep in Kitui, he has very healthy cows. I don't know if I have some of the images, but the grass that is there that we have just seen was something that I fell in love with. And when I was talked to about this, it was very interesting that now, indeed, this was something that we had to do. And I'm not sure if we have now Sayanka on the line. Okay, we are not yet with him. So what we'll do is that we'll also try and get someone
I'm
else.
on Noah.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
so very
Noah.
interesting.
I
I'm
can
being
hear
told
you.
that Sayanka is now on the line. Sayanka, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Noah.
Fantastic. Now you're here. I thought now you are in the middle of delivering hay, but now it's good that we've managed to get you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So, Sayanka, this is brilliant. Thank you for getting time to be with us here. Today, we are talking
Yes,
about pasture livestock feed, growing it as a business. Probably you can
yes,
start by first of all introducing yourself, and then we dive into the discussion.
yes. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. This is Sayang Kantore. Yeah, Sayang Kantore heads an organization called Reto Empowerment Program. Reto Empowerment Program is a hybrid organization where we have the social aspect of the organization, where we run social programs, and we have the business angle of the organization, where we have retrofits, where we have retrofits. So retrofit is the business, the enterprise side, where we order, we harvest, we distribute livestock feed. So that is just briefly about what we do at Reto. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for introduction. What my
Yes,
question comes in very quickly, and my question is, you have been very passionate about livestock feed and growing it, especially for the livestock, especially at a local home, community, village level. Why have you been
yes.
passionate about this, Sayanka?
Yes, no, I was born and raised in an asal environment, and I've seen a lot of things happening in this environment. There are very good things in this environment, despite the fact that in the recent years we have had recurrent drought. So I've had a first-hand experience of what it means to be in a pastoral setting without livestock. So, and without livestock, not just because of other reasons, but because of the reasons to do with drought. So, growing in a pastoral setting and having to see droughts coming and wiping all the livestock, and yes, hello, you can hear me.
Yes, Sayanka.
Yes. I thought you are not hearing me. So,
Hello,
having brought up in that setting,
Sayanka, you can hear us?
uh, yes, I can hear you, Noah. I can hear you.
Sayanka, you can hear us?
I can, yes, no, I
Yeah.
can
So
hear
as you
you.
as you're talking about this, one thing that I saw that you're very passionate about is especially the younger generation. And as we can see
Yes,
on the screen, we have one of your
yes,
mentees that you actually have been guiding. Tell us a bit more
yes.
about this mentee of yours.
Yes, that is, that's a couple that we have worked with. That is Henry, Lerionka's family. Yes, we started the journey with Henry close to 2 years ago. And I saw the passion in him. I saw him wanting to bring the change that we all expect to see in our families. And we really talked about him on bringing solutions to the challenges of livestock feed. And I saw him pick it up I saw him having a lot of passion in it, and we have really supported him as Reto. We have organized trainings for him, exposure visits, to ensure that he really get the right skills and the right knowledge of the whole value chain of livestock and livestock feed value chain. So I've seen him pick it up. Uh, he is very passionate. But what currently we are doing is we want to bring the aspect of commercialization into what he's doing, because when you do it and you don't see the money, then of course there is no motivation in it. But before you start making it as a business, first of all, you need to utilize it yourself, because most of us have livestock. So you become your own customer first. Ensure that your livestock are well fed. That means then that the livestock will produce more milk, will attain market weight faster. So he is very passionate about it. We are holding his hand, and we truly believe that he's going to be the change that we intend to see in the community. So we are now in the process of coming up with a business plan, so that now we see how many acreage does he need to have so that it makes some economic sense if he's to sell to a business, making it as a business, and make livestock feed as a business. Because in recent years, we have seen people selling what we call pasture splits. You don't sometimes you don't need to produce more and sell it as feed, but you can produce and sell them as splits. Splits means that it's like the other people who are in the business of tree nurseries or uh, vegetable seedlings. So in pastures, also you can have what we call pasture splits, where you plant your 1 acre, you have an acre, and you sell people the splits. So you can sell sweet potato vine splits, you can sell brachiria splits, and if you can also sell the what we call, what I'm currently seeing called pakchang. Pakchang is also a product crop. So there is a lot of business that can arise from the whole pasture value chain and livestock feed value chain. So with Henry, we are having a business plan where we want now to sit down and say where we really need to focus our efforts as regarding looking at his resources that he has. Yes.
I've seen it
Yes.
myself. One of the things that I
Yes.
wanted to ask you is where do you think this where do you need support as Reto? Which kind of support do you need?
Yes. Reto, as I mentioned earlier, Reto is an hybrid organization where we have the social aspect and the business aspect. And what we really need
You still
ensuring how do we pull our passion, how do we pull our pastoralists into the market, because if our people will continue producing for just subsistence use, then they are not going to commercialize their enterprises. So we want to see our people, the pastoralists, getting to the market. So we want to create models, we want support. We will really love to get models that support market orientation, that ensures that our people are able to see the market. Because if they see the market, then they are able to produce for the market, they are able to commercialize their livestock, and at that time, commercialization of pastures will work
yes.
very well.
So as you're saying this, something that is coming out very strongly is that uh, we have to change the way we're doing things. We have to change the way
Yes,
we're doing things, both at a local level as well as broadly in terms of other communities and other aspects. So let us
Yes.
start probably from down. Where does someone start in case they want to start growing livestock feed, especially pasture? Where do you start? As you can see in the image, we'll also be sharing some images of just the farm and what we've discussed. Where does someone start?
You start with your mind, the mindset. I think that is where you
I
start
don't know if
because
we've
yes,
lost Sayanka.
you have lost me. I can hear you. Noah, I can hear you. Hello, Noah.
I uh,
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you, Noah.
I cannot hear Sayanka.
I can hear you. I can hear you myself. I can hear you, Noah. Hello.
So probably I'll just take that question again.
Yes, I can hear
Where do you
you.
start? Is it
Yes.
testing soil? Is it what exactly? Where do you start when you're doing this?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Noah? Hello.
I can not hear.
I can hear you, Noah. I can hear you.
Okay, now I can hear you now. So I want to repeat the question again for clarity. Where do you start? Do you start
Yes.
by testing your soil? Where do you start?
Okay. No, I said the first thing you need to start with is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go to the farm, it's about you first. What about your mindset?
Sayanka
Is it
probably could
something
speak a bit louder.
I'm saying you need to start from yourself. From yourself. Hello. Hello.
We'll talk a short break and then to just sort
Okay.
out
Okay.
the sound, and then we'll come back.
Okay. No, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Welcome back. And you can see I have a guest. I have a guest right here in studio with me. I have been ambushed. Welcome.
Thank you.
Just tell us who you are and then we get rolling.
My name is Naima Embrace,
Mhm.
and I'm very humbled to be with you for this discussion. I would really like to know more and still maybe impact someone the knowledge, still get to know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
thank you.
Yes, welcome. We're discussing so much about livestock feed, how we've seen a lot of losses in terms of livestock. And one of the things that really pricked our minds is what can be done so that people can be able to benefit from whatever resources they have. We've seen a lot of feeds coming from all over. But right here in Kajiado, we're seeing a lot of land available. Probably some people have water.
Sure.
And online we have Sayanka. I don't know, Sayanka is still there? Do we still have Sayanka online? Okay. Yes. So what we have been talking so much as we still get Sayanka back online is basically animals dying, cows, goats. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh.
Currently,
Yes.
I'm coming from Kajiado County.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Mhm.
I've seen a lot of that.
Mhm.
I come from Livestock,
Okay.
where
Interesting.
the weather has really changed.
But Lotok is green.
Yes, it is,
Uh-huh.
but not as green as it was those days.
Ah. Uh-huh.
Those days back, the rain was coming
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
now and then, but right now it's not as usual.
Is it dry like a jet? Is there
Not
dust?
dry as Kajiado, not dry as Kajiado.
Uh-huh.
We thank God we are not experiencing that bad drought,
Okay. Yes.
but it's still not the same.
Okay.
And I really pity the people who are suffering a lot in Kajiado, not us from the Talk, because at least our livestock have something. But
I'm being told, I don't know if you stepped on a wire because you're very low. Probably speak louder. Yeah.
Okay. As in, when you pass by, as I always go to
Through Mashuru.
Yeah, through Mashuru, Emali.
Yes.
You see a lot of livestock on the road.
Yes.
They've already died. Why? Because there is lack of pasture, water. There is nothing to feed them. So it's really bad, really frustrating.
You know, as you can see some of those photos there, those are we used to have that. We used to have like very good livestock. We used to have a lot of, but my question is, when you see this, especially as a local, do you think that this is a great opportunity for that change to occur in terms of now people growing their own? I can say probably very confidently growing their own pasture, being able to, because I mean, it is really sad. I can say for sure it is really sad to see the loss of in terms of animals dying, but even over and above that, is it something that we can say we can go back to there? Can we go back to that green?
Yes, we can.
What needs to go
Put a lot of effort.
in planting trees? But trees will take very long.
It will take
So
very long.
you said something very important. The Tok is not as green as we expected.
Yes, it's not.
Why? Is it just the sun that has come? In Kajiado, we have two sons: the son, the father, and the uncle. What is happening in Loitoktok? Because it was a breadbasket. We have a lot of tomato farming going on in Loitoktok area. What do you think is going on in the minds of livestock keepers around that area, Kajiado, extending all the way to Narok and all that? What is going on through in their minds?
As I say, they're frustrated. That's one, and they need a lot of help. So I think whatever is running in their mind is, "Hey, God, save us."
Because
with that rain, yeah.
very interesting.
Because it's only that can save their livestock, or maybe if they are being taught something else, another option.
Okay.
What if the rain is not there? What else can we feed the animals with? Because most of the families, they depend on those animals. They even don't know how to farm, maybe.
Okay.
They only depend on, mostly Maasais,
Yes.
they really appreciate the livestock.
Okay.
Really.
It is a form of pride.
Yeah, sure. It is.
Do you think that needs to change?
But changing that means changing the culture.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But isn't culture being affected now?
Yeah, it is. So changing it will be, I think, an advantage to most of the families.
Okay.
And at the same time, for the families which they don't know the meaning of changing the
culture,
cultures,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does not make sense.
But it has happened before. This is not the first time it has happened, but this time has been very bad.
Yeah.
If it doesn't rain the next 2 months, how does it look like?
It will be disaster.
It's a disaster. Yeah, because talking to them, I'm also from Kajiado. I'm seeing how farmers are suffering. The biggest challenge that I have seen is just the fact that it has now occurred to them, but there's no option.
Yeah. And if I would advise most of them,
Yes.
is think of plan B. What if the rain does not come? Because we are not seeing any of that coming soon.
Very interesting. What is plan B? How does plan B look like?
Plan B looks like, how about we get knowledge of maybe growing pasture in another way?
Because they say that cows have to graze. Cows have to go and walk. Do you think they're ready for this change?
I think because there is no any other option. They will be.
So let me ask you, from a local perspective, and trying to understand basically how these things can be done differently, where do you think the help comes? Because just even before going that, last week we were talking with some of the friends of farmers. We are having a discussion with the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, and they're saying that even the stress levels have increased.
Yes, sure.
Because it was the number of cows or sheep was your pride.
Yes, not only pride, but also the number of cows and maybe the number of sheep. It was what was bringing food on the table.
Because they would sell one this weekend.
Yeah. Then
and now there's nothing to sell now.
There is nothing to sell.
Wow.
Most of the cows, I guess last year, were being sold at 500, 1,000. That's a very big loss. Something which you would have sold for 1,000, you're selling it for 1,000 because there is
no other option.
Yeah, no.
As in ikuondoke.
Yeah, ikuondoke tu iondoke. Because that ikikaa, it will die.
So you better not have it die.
Yeah. And at least get that small money than not having it all.
Very interesting. Yeah. So those who are joining us, we're discussing about livestock feed. We are hoping to get Sayanka back online. If not, we'll be able to have Amika Mitoko, who is a program manager for the Kajiado County from Action Africa Help International, who will be telling us more about what this is all about, livestock feed. And then also talk to Titus, getting to understand, especially being a local, getting to understand what this is. So I don't know who we have online. Okay, great, fantastic. So I hear we have Titus online. Titus, can you hear us? Hello, Titus, can you hear us? Titus, can you hear us? I don't know if you can hear. Can Titus hear us? Okay, great. So, Nema, you said something very interesting. This time it has even hit them so hard. I was talking to some guys, my neighbors, and one lost 110 goats in less than 2 months. They were not stolen. In fact, he was telling me, I wish they were stolen. Yeah. I would recover. Yeah. But I buried them, exactly. which
seeing your property just going like that.
And they're saying that the livestock is part of the family.
It is.
So now let me ask you. This has happened That's happened very fast. How can we transform this? Where do we start? Is it by talking to them, by showing them, or where does it start?
I think talking and showing
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, because there is still no time.
When you say talking and showing, what are we talking? What are we showing?
We are talking about how to improve the pasture
Mm-hmm.
and still showing them how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Just speak a bit louder. We are hearing from you deep inside.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Let me adjust this probably. Yes.
Thank you. So showing them how to do it, which is very important, and still talking to them, teaching them, because it's not all the time that we will be with them.
Yes.
But giving them the knowledge to know that, hey, this is supposed to be done like this, and to keep on going with the pasture, we're supposed to maybe to water it, and and all that.
Yeah.
What should be applied on the pasture so that it grows? You see, that information is very,
Very
important. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have seen some people doing it, even locals. We've seen a lot of hay barns. We've seen some of our friends doing it. What can you do to those who are already doing it? The others to embrace that, because we have seen a lot of produce coming from abroad.
Yeah.
When I say abroad, I mean, how do we go around it? How do we start with those ones who are doing it? As we wait for Titus to join us,
Sorry, I've not got it well.
there are people who are already doing it.
Yeah.
How can we support them? I'm trying to avoid to answer the question myself. What kind of support do they need to showcase to others?
What they are really
Yes,
doing.
yes. Is it more seeds? Is it more fertilizer? Is it better? I'm being told Titus is on the line. Good. Titus, can you hear us? I don't seem to hear Titus. Titus, can you hear us? Okay. Anyway, as we continue, as we wait for him to yeah. Where do the youth especially
Come in.
come in?
Okay.
Yes.
I think the youth have a very good opportunity for that. Because one, most of the youth, they know how to read, understanding, and the knowledge. So it's easy for them to go, get the knowledge, and then come back.
Very interesting. Hold your thought. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we want to dive in deeper into where the youth come in, the whole idea, in the whole equation. Let's take a short break, and then we come back with that information.
Hello, my name is James Njuguna. I'm the Vice Chair Kajedo Beekeepers. Today you're watching our Farmers Media, and I would like you to know that there is sweetness beyond these things.
Nice.
Yes, welcome back. This is Noah Nasiali Kadima, right here from Farmers Media, and we're talking about money. And I'm joined by Nema. Nema, the other name, Nema. You'll see Nema in the next few hours. Nema, you touched on something raw, the youth. Before even diving in deeper, are the youth accessing land?
Their own?
The family land. Do they have access to it? Can they be able to use it?
Yes, they can.
They can be able to use it. Very interesting. So the youth can access land, which is rare in other parts of the country. What opportunity do the youth have now, especially than the cows and land? Because the grazing and all that was pride mainly of our fathers, our uncles, older generation, but the youth have seen this. They are moving away. They don't even want things like, they want to do other things. Is this an opportunity for them to transform this? I can say it's an industry. Yes.
What I can say is that the youth, we have a very big opportunity to make a difference. A very big one. Because one thing we are young, we still have that opportunity to study more and to have the knowledge. And bringing that change to our homes will be very great.
Very interesting. Yeah. We have Titus on the line. Titus, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
I cannot hear Titus. Titus?
I can hear you.
Sorry?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Good. Titus, we can see you. How is Machakos taking you? Naona hata uso imeanza kushine.
Machakos is
You can
good.
introduce yourself.
So, my name is Titus Nakel. I come from Kajiado County. Currently at Machakos, studying about the pasture commercialization project, which will take us a week from yesterday to Friday. Hello? You can hear me?
Yeah, so as we sorted the sound issue, we're talking to Titus. So Titus is an agronomist. He's attending a very important part of the discussion. And this discussion, Titus, can you hear? Let's test it.
Yeah.
Good. So Titus, you can hear us now?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So now that you can hear us, just start again and introduce yourself. Tell us what you're doing, where you are right now, so that we can be able to now pick it up from there.
Okay, my name is Titus Nakel. I come from Kajiado County, currently at Machakos County in Samara Hotel, having a very important meeting about the pasture commercialization project, which is taking 1.5 years. It began on last year on August and will take all through to December. This is an organization which is funded by FAO under the Mastercard Foundation.
Yeah, fantastic. So today we're talking about the opportunity that is there, especially for the youth. And I'm joined by Nema, as you can see. And what we're asking is, as you are sitting there, Titus, having lost quite a number of livestock, your family, your neighbors, you saw what was needed. I remember you mentioned to me that you guys played safe by having your own hay, and you also donated some of the hay to some of the neighbors. Why is that meeting important for you?
Number one, this meeting is very important because it will enable us to get some of the skills that we didn't have in the past, and it will enable us to know what varieties of grass that are supposed to grow in parts of Kajiado. Because yesterday, when we were in the meeting, we realized that there are some grasses that can be grown in Kajiado County, but it has specific parts. Secondly, this meeting is very important, especially for the pastoral community, because we can find that most of the people who are affected in these times are us, the pastoralists. So we are trying to make sure that we take the knowledge that are given here and being impacted by the trainers who are more experienced and learned, so that we may take and go and change our communities, their lifestyle of the way they live, and the way they will do this project of the pastoral commercialization project.
Fantastic. Thank you for that quite good explanation. Titus, you are an agronomist. You've done horticulture. You are trained as an extension officer. You also keep livestock. Why is this a transformation, especially for the youth? Neema has told us here that this is a transformation opportunity for the young people, especially at this time, because livestock it has been a pride, more of a pride thing and not money. But money came in somewhere. Ukikwama kidogo unauza mbuzi mbili. But now we have lost that. Why is this a transformation for you who's done agronomy, especially horticulture?
I can say this is a very important transformation for the youth because number one, they get to learn and to know what are the specific things that are required. Secondly, about the community that I come from, most of the people, let me say our fathers, they used to keep these things for prestigeness and so that they may be known. But for us, the youth are learning. I can say that it will really help us so that those who are in school right now, they can know that these things are there to be used. For example, if they get fat, it's a good opportunity for one to sell and then get money and then capitalize in another project. So the youth can utilize this chance that is given by FAO and the master seed for the project to make sure that they commercialize, because when the livestock are commercialized, then the businesses will be opened. And yesterday when we were in the meeting, they were told that the main reason why this thing is going on is because to create employment for mostly the youth and the women mostly.
Okay, very interesting. And we know that, Nema, we know that the milk belongs to the women in Kajiado.
Yeah.
So you as a lady in Kajiado, as a young person, uh, Titus is there getting this knowledge. What would you request Titus to do after getting this knowledge? Titus.
Hey, Titus. I
Hi.
think it is very great that you're getting that knowledge, and it will be more great when you get it and go and teach others.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. Titus uko na kazi hapo, my friend. We have tumesha
Sana.
kumulika, umemulikwa. So now let me ask you, Titus, how many types of grass, how many types of pasture that have you learned? I know it's just early days into the training. How many types have you seen that grow well in Kajiado? And what is required? Where do you start?
Yesterday we were just introduced about the introduction part of the meeting that will go along the whole week. Secondly, we were taught about some precautions on how to grow grass, but currently we are undergoing to know the specific grasses that will be grown in parts of Kajiado, especially the highlands part of Kajiado, which is Ngong and the Loitoktok, and some dry areas. So we are still on the process.
Fantastic. I know that you sent a photo yesterday, which we'll be sharing later on. And probably as we continue, we'll keep on contacting you and getting to understand much more about what you're doing and how other farmers can benefit. Thank you very much, Titus, for your time. I know we will be getting back to you in a few. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, for those who've been watching, we've been talking to Titus McKay, who is actually a live horticulture and extension services. And he's one of us here at the farmers. And what a great opportunity for him to be able to just take us through to explain to us what is happening and all that. Yes, so allow us to take a short break, and when we come back, we will be winding down this discussion, but with something more important. This is the Farmers Media. We're taking a short break. Welcome back to Farmers Breakfast Show, and we're discussing money, how we can make money, and how do you start. As we've seen, we'll be talking to Mika Mitoko, who is the program manager for Kajiado County from from Action Africa Help International, who will be guiding us in terms of what are they doing now this week in Machakos, especially as agronomists from quite a number of counties, and learning much more about the aspect of how do we train farmers on basically this. Nema, have you ever enjoyed groundnuts? Do you eat groundnuts?
Yes, I do.
Lakini you like groundnuts anyway. So we have a message, a very interesting message, as you've seen during the short break. This message is actually brought to you by Markup UNIDO in partnership and funded by the European Union, and it talks about macadamia. So the macadamia, I've always enjoyed macadamia. That I've actually planted macadamia. It's a tree that I go to see every day. I go to my farm. But we have a special message. We are working in collaboration with UNIDO Markup, that is Market Access Upgrade Program. And basically, it is about aflatoxin and awareness about aflatoxin. It is something that is really affecting our groundnuts, maize, and the rest. But this is specifically for macadamia farmers, the whole macadamia value chain. And one of the most important thing is irrigation. And irrigation is basically not flooding, not reducing too much, having a balanced way of watering the crop so that we cannot become stressed. Aflatoxin comes, one of the causes of aflatoxin is actually when the plant is really stressed. So what we need to do is, first of all, make sure you're obtaining your seeds from the right agro dealers, authorized, registered agro dealers. Then make sure that you're watering your crops regularly to avoid a long duration of dry spells. Then plant the crop at recommended time when there is ample rainfall to ensure that the crop matures by the end of the season. Avoid dry planting. This message, again, brought to you by Markup Market Access Upgrade Program that has been funded by the European Union. Now, let us talk about this aspect of the women and the youth. I know we started that discussion.
Yeah.
The women, milk, the byproduct of cows belongs to the women.
Uh-huh.
We have seen so many dairy cooperatives that have been affected now because of the drought. How can you, as women, and especially women, support this commercialization of pasture? Because we saw some of the some of the cooperatives became very big. How can you support this?
The dairy?
Yes, the dairy and just the growing of pasture at a local level.
one of the main things that we can support them is by getting the knowledge, as I said.
Yes, just speak up a bit louder.
Yeah, getting the knowledge, as I said, and getting to, have that heart of knowing more, so that at least that product that you want from your livestock,
Yes.
you will have it at the end of the day. And the main important thing is that that product still generates money.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I like that the link between now products, the training coming back. How receptive do you think the community will be, or how do we touch it? How does it? How do we start? If you're told today, go and talk to this community, what would you go? How would you go around it?
What I think I would do is go and tell them, and talk to them about the benefits and how they can maneuver what they are suffering from. Because as long as you show people what they can get as a better option, absolutely they'll listen to you.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So now let us join. We are joined in by Mika. I don't know if Mika, you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much for taking time. I know you guys are in a series of meetings the whole day. Probably you can just start off by introducing yourselves briefly, and then we can take us through in terms of what is happening right now.
Yeah, thank you, Noah, and great to hear the conversations you're having around this topic. My name is Mika Mitoko, and I manage a project called Livestock Feed Commercialization Project. I work with an organization called Action Africa Help International, and we deal a lot in crucial value chains such as livestock, and that's why we are working with the county government of Kajiado and, of course, farmers to get our farmers in Kajiado County produce better quality feed livestock and also make a little bit more money and go home with a little bit more in their pockets. Yeah, so happy to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much for that insight. Today we're talking about importance, and I remember yesterday we were having a slight discussion on our chat, and you mentioned that there was an insistence of soil testing and soil health. Probably you can just take us through what how does that look like, and what was brought out. I know it's still early days to summarize the training. How does a farmer start growing pasture?
Yeah, and I like the way you ask stats, and I like Sayanka's response. It starts with the mind, of course, the software bit of it. But once you're done with that, then it's very important. And I hear experts speaking. I'm not an agriculture expert myself, but I hear them speaking about farmers need to ensure that they know the health of their soil. Why this is important is because many people overload the land. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but the land is overloaded year in, year out, and sometimes the crops that are grown in a particular piece of land is not suitable for that land. Apparently, there are certain crops that need certain nutrients, and not all nutrients are available in each and every soil. So you can look at soil and think red soil is perfect, but apparently that's not usually the case. It has to be tested for you to know what to grow there. So even in the discussions among the three counties, which is Kajiado, Makueni, and Taita Taveta, it's coming out very clearly that even the pasture needs or the seed needs are quite different. There are some seed varieties that will do well in Makueni that will not do well in Kajiado and that will not do well in Taita Taveta, and conversely the same for all the counties. And so that was one of the insights I learned yesterday. And it's important our farmers get to know what works in their areas. Thank you.
Fantastic, good. I think Nema will also have some questions, but one of the things that I want to ask is how does someone start this, being part of this? I know we've done this before, but probably now is the right time. How does someone start? I know after filling there's a form that someone, but what is required? How do you identify that this is a farmer who is has a potential of growing this?
Yeah, and I think I'll also emphasize that I know we are talking a lot about activities, but we also need to appreciate, and maybe the farmers need to appreciate, that we are trying to build an ecosystem around the livestock feed value chain, or the livestock value chain itself. And so we are not just encouraging farmers to grow pasture for the sake of growing pasture or for the sake of hype, since there's a huge drought and need, but we are trying to build an ecosystem whereby each and every player along the livestock value chain finds their own space and finds their own opportunity to actually grow their business, or grow their hustle, if we may call it that. And we are trying to bring in different actors, different players along the value chain, all the way from the input logistics all the way to the market, and ensure that each and every one actually adds value to this whole livestock value chain. So with regards to the project, and since we are targeting farmers, of course, we are working through the county extension office, and so the county extension officers have some sort of database already, and we've screened quite a number of them. So they have a database of farmers, farmer groups, especially youth groups, women groups, especially those who are doing the dairy work. And so starting next week, there's going to be now official registration for the next 2 weeks. You in that database, and when we're doing the registration, we are also scheduling training for the next quarter. So from March, April, May, there'll be a series of training on agronomy, production methods, health, safety, group dynamics, as well as a bit of analysis on your business. And that's where I come in now, to kind of look at this hustle or this business, what are its needs, what is its position in the market, how can it take advantage of various opportunities along the value chain, and then how can we plan for that, and what kind of support do these groups need. Of course, what I've not mentioned is during registration, there'll be disbursement of seeds that are suitable for that particular area. And so there's a variety that the FAO and MasterCard Foundation have availed for the use of farmers, and the county government will then offer extension services free of charge. AHI comes in with your market development activities, and of course, farmers, the sensitization and also the market information that our farmers really need to get their produce out, to know where to buy, to know what's needed here and there. So it's a mix of many activities, and a lot of it is moving parts, sharing information, connecting people, and just ensuring people understand what they need to do here. And quality assurance, a very key aspect of it. Yeah.
Doing this, I know that you're also watching, and probably you you can also just put in the comment section there the link to the form on how farmers can be able to join and actually do this. So you mentioned a few counties. Why was the selection? What was the rationale between in actually identifying this specific counties? What was the potential that you saw in this, or rather, FAO saw in actually in this?
I'd say it's these are probably the counties with a huge potential for producing livestock, but also there are some of the counties that have been hard hit by I'd call it climate change, I'd call it drought, I'd call it desertification. So you see the paradox in between, like high potential yet the hardest hit. And so you'll find that I can't speak for FAO, but in my own kind of justification, you'll find that working with guys, or working with the counties who have that potential and yet are the hardest hits, would really be beneficial, and would really show or give an example and showcase how such a project or how such an activity can then be scaled to other counties. I know we are running a pilot for now, and whatever information, whatever ideas, whatever strategies we develop then should be scaled to the whole country, because this is something that's affecting us as a region, not even as a country. And so any lessons we learn in these three counties can then be shared and scaled with other similar affected countries. Yeah.
A very strong emphasis, and I know Nema is one of the beneficiaries as well in terms of coming from Loitoktok. She's telling us that Loitoktok is not as green as it used to be. So why is this important for the youth and women? I think just That would be nice for you to clarify to let us know why that is the focus.
Yeah, any project or any program does not touch on youth and women is I don't use very hard words, but your rate of success is really going to be compromised if you're not going to focus on women and the youth. Why? The numbers don't lie. The numbers of the youth right now, the numbers of the young people, men and women who are actually coming up the ranks from school, from education and seeking employment opportunities is huge. The opportunities, on the other hand, are becoming less and less by the minute. So you're going to have a problem in the near future whereby most of our youth, most of our adults are jobless, hustleless, do not have anything to really call their own in terms of earning a living. And the social problem that comes with is going to be very costly for any country that does not focus on the youth. Of course, with the women, it's very important to understand that there's been, I'd call it marginalization, but I'd call it also lack of opportunities that target women, or rather lack of access to these opportunities. So it's important that any program that seeks to bring lasting change in our communities focuses on women also, so that we can bring, Obama likes to say, half of the team into the play or into the strategy of our own development as a continent. So very important that we target women and youth for these simple reasons. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mika, for sparing time and having. I know we'll be interacting more as you continue some of the knowledge that the team is gaining. We will get to understand even much more in terms of the areas, the seed varieties. I don't know if Nema, you have any question or any comment for Mika and the team in Machakos?
Yeah, I think I have one question for Mika.
Mm-hmm.
What strategy does the team have to make sure that even the people who are in the rural areas, deep down, that they get the information and they get the knowledge and the teachings?
Fantastic. Very nice
Mostly the
question.
youth and the women.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Mika?
you, Nama. Very, very valid question. And one of the reasons we're working with and through the county extension system is specifically for
Do
that,
you still have
to
Mika
ensure
on the
that we
line?
reach. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now, Mika.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, Emma, and I love the question, because the reason we are working with the county government is to ensure that last mile interventions, or rather, we reach the last person at the community level. So you'll find that most of the ward extension officers actually know and have quite a lot of information on different farmers in remote areas, and so it's important that we work with them and we work through them to reach those people. At the same time, of course, working with A-Farmers Media, we want to even penetrate through the local radio stations, translate all our content into the local language, into languages, whether it's Ma or Swahili, that is understandable to the people on the ground. The other area is through the provincial administration, looking at how we can have barazas, how we can talk about pertinent issues that affect the guys who kondani. Yani, I've gone to some areas that are really, really very far, and sometimes you'll think you're out of civilization. And it's important that we reach all of them because they are also affected by this issue. So we are looking to reach everywhere, if possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Mika. Thank you. I know you have to get back into the meetings, and we
Yeah.
know that we'll also be getting more information from you. Thank you, and probably have a brilliant day. Thanks, Mika.
Thank you very much, Ryan Emma.
All right, thanks. So as you've heard, those who are watching us, it is not just about. It's not just another exercise. It is actually life changing exercise.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle change. Uh, to tell somebody to reduce on the number of animals was unheard of, but nature has done it for us.
Yeah.
And we can only now partner with organizations that are doing this already to get it done. This has been a very interesting morning, a very good morning, having discussed all this information. And one of the things that we have seen that has affected even livestock is transport. And why, when you talk about transport, the challenges that farmers are facing to be able to get this done, whether you're a livestock farmer to go and look for feeds, We know that transport takes close to 45% of your costs. And one of the things that we are running currently is a program uh, by ourselves in partnership with the UK Kenya Tech Hub, where we are discussing how can we change the modalities of affordable transport and logistics services for smallholder farmers, and how is this important? How is this important? So, if you have any questions, any queries that you can be able to, or even just sharing your experience, sharing the experience that you have, especially for this transport and logistics services, how do you take your produce to the market? How do you access uh, uh, farm inputs, especially sometimes we have very bad roads? How do you do this? Share your experiences with us. If you have any experience that you'd like to come for us to come and visit and see, also you can also share that with us. It's time for our proverb of the day. Our proverb of the day says, "The mouth is stupid. After eating, it forgets who gave it food." The mouth is stupid. After eating, it forgets who gave it food. And that is a reality. Sometimes we forget where we got help from. Sometimes we forget where we got sustenance from. Sometimes we forget, and this way it makes us not very wise.
Very true.
Yes, very interesting. Any last words as we close?
Thank you very much. And I've really learned a lot. At least I have something to say, hey, I went with something. Yeah, it's very interesting. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Great. So for those who have joined us this morning, it was a pleasure being able to be here with you. And this is what we do every Monday to Friday, a breakfast show right here from 7:30 to 9:30. And we want to continue helping you as smallholder farmers, as large scale farmers, as well as those of you who are in the farming and agriculture industry. Remember, starting tomorrow, 8th and 9th of this month, there is an Agri Expo in Nairobi. Make sure you check the comment section. We'll be able to be sharing that as well, that information. Be there if you have selling farm inputs, if you're a farmer, get to go there to understand. We will be having a friend of ours. She's called Bisase, Bisi Lillian Bisase, who will also be co-hosting with us at the event, getting to understand much more. She has been passionate to understand, to help farmers understand so much about agriculture, and we'll be there with her, as well as our team will be there to get to see what opportunities are there for the agriculture industry to benefit from. Again, this has been a brilliant day for me, for you, for us, all of us, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Have a brilliant day.